measure up to the geniuses of the past. To find out, I challenged a team of top engineers to recreate the machines that changed history.
Are you ready to see what challenge awaits you this week?
Yep. First, they must rebuild each one, using only the original materials.
I really think we're going to struggle with this one.
Then use their 21st century knowledge to try and improve on them.
I think this kicks ass.
When they're put to the test, will they have upgraded a masterpiece, or will they have taken off more than they can chew?
It's complete evil warfare.
It's present versus past. The reputation of modern day man and woman is at stake.
I think we can beat the ancestors and have fun getting there.
Welcome to my Build HQ. Inside this workshop, I've got a huge selection of tools and traditional materials, which will be used to make and get to grips with an ancient machine.
This week's build is the biggest of them all. The team are building something that took mankind to incredible new heights, but also caused some gruesome deaths. The team are going to be tested to their limits, but hey, they're up for it. And what better way than with an invention that completely changed the British skyline?
It's the Middle Ages, and kings and queens across Europe are competing to build the grandest and highest churches and cathedrals ever built. In order to build these awe-inspiring buildings, the greatest lifting invention the world has ever seen is created, the Gothic Mega Crane. Powered by workers turning its massive treadwheel, the cranes built the great cathedrals of Europe one block at a time. After every story was completed, the crane would be moved up to the next level, so it could build spires that towered over the minuscule buildings below. This machine opened the doors to all modern building and was responsible for changing the skylines of Europe. Here at Build HQ, I'm putting my team to the test, setting them the challenge of constructing and improving the ancestors' Gothic Mega Crane. Each team member has a wealth of engineering experience. Jamie's a steam engine expert who works miracles with metal.
Anybody think that would be made to fit? Excellent.
For special effects master Claire, no engineering challenge is impossible.
To be able to make massive weapons is what I always wanted to do.
She's through.
Chris will be a vital team member with his vast array of carpentry skills.
It sounds tricky, it looks massive. It's a huge build. It involves big bits of wood, so I'm happy with that.
Hollywood prop maker and military expert Matt will feel right at home with the punishing physical work required.
We need to fuse it all together and all our skills to create this big crane monster.
And for medieval weapon maker and master blacksmith Owen, it's a case of the bigger the better.
Why do you make stuff like this? Why would you want to? Because you're driven to it. I'm bored if I'm not doing this kind of stuff.
All right, team.
Morning, how we doing?
Looking forward to another good 3 days?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I reckon there's going to be quite a lot of metal in this one. Quite a lot of wood. Your blueprints await you, team. Good luck.
Aha!
Oh, that's a crane.
So what have we actually got on this thing? So obviously just a frame.
I've given them a blueprint based on the design of the Mega Crane, which built the tallest medieval spire in Europe, Salisbury Cathedral.
That's a crane.
That's definitely a hamster wheel.
Yeah, it's a kind of winch.
So 700 kilograms.
It's a very, very simple gearing system. That's as difficult as this thing gets at the moment.
It gives us more options, doesn't it?
It does.
It means we get to invent more.
We can invent more. Oh, right, okay then.
This is how it works. Two workers walking side by side revolve the massive treadwheel housed within a giant frame. As the wheel revolves, rope winds around the wheel spindle, lifting the weight suspended from its arm. This ingenious use of manpower allowed the colossal machine to lift blocks weighing as much as 700 kilograms. Our team will have to build a giant treadwheel, an even bigger wooden frame, a rope and spindle lifting system, and a super strong arm capable of taking the strain of nearly 3/4 of a ton, all within just 3 days. As ever, they can only use materials the ancestors had access to at the time. But the team don't just have to match the ancestors' design.
When it comes to manoeuvrability,
They have to improve on it.
What about manoeuvring it? Because this was an up and down lift. The idea of getting 3 dimensions, that's problematic.
Yeah.
We need a crane arm in the modern sense of it, coming off of this to give us the range to pick things up and position them.
Can be upright and go out, so you've got that sort of movement, and it can possibly, if we think about it, go from side to side. So we've got a lot more manoeuvrability than they would have had.
When it comes to the speed of lift, how are you going to do that?
And we're going to make it a 3-speed machine with 3 sets of gearing, so it can lift a very heavy weight slowly, or it can lift a lighter weight faster.
Yeah, it's also the revolutions per minute of the wheel and the size of the spindle.
2 team members will need to run the giant wheel that will sit at the heart of the crane, and no one has decided to volunteer. Jamie.
It's going to be the best fun you've ever had.
I don't mind being your hamster. I'll get Matt to make me a set of ears and I'll puff my cheeks out.
I think it'd be perfect.
You need a mate as well, don't you?
I need a mate. Who's going to be my hamster buddy?
Matt, you're into running, aren't you?
Claire.
There you are, mate.
Cheers.
There was no safety mechanism anywhere. What are you going to do?
You'll need some kind of caging on the sides of this wheel, because you could stick your arm out of there and get it trapped in between
sheared
the
off.
frame and you'd cut your arm off.
Jamie, you're going to be up in the air being a hamster, mate.
Plummeting to me death or losing an arm, I'd rather lose my arm, to tell you the truth. But...
Okay.
Well, we're going for neither of those, Jamie. I promised you big.
Yeah, it could be massive, but we're going to be limited by the amount of time we got.
Good luck, team. Keep smiling.
See you in a bit. It certainly won't. It's going to be bigger than that.
It will.
What the ancestors achieved with this is amazing, but there was a massive danger aspect to it as well.
I'm not looking forward to the heights. I don't do heights in the slightest. At the end of the day, you fall off. Nah, there won't be anything left of you, will there?
The team decide to start with the Treadwheel, 2 giant circles made with steel struts and wooden planks. This will be the powerhouse of the crane.
How big is this wheel? What's the overall diameter, so I could maybe start drawing something on the floor? Okay.
3.2 metres, and then the width of it
Yeah.
is going to be 1.5 metres.
It's huge, is what it is. To make a crane that's going to lift a decent weight, the crane has to be really quite large as well.
Jamie, can you give us a hand with the chalk line?
First, the team needs to draw a chalk template for the Treadwheel.
Right, I'm going to ping it. Ding! Right, next.
Made of metal.
Okay.
Scrabble around.
Before working the wheel begins, Owen can't resist reminding Jamie what he's got to look forward to.
I'm going to be climbing around this thing. Well, I'm not. Jamie is.
That looks comfortable.
Much easier upright, I reckon.
I bet.
I bet it isn't.
I think firstly what we're going to go and do is draw a massive right angle on the floor.
The Treadwheel will sit in a huge frame.
We'll go about 5 metres, about 5-6 metres, something like that.
Yeah. And it's only when they measure it out that they truly begin to understand the sheer size of their challenge.
Looking huge,
Everything is just getting big. It's going to be difficult. We're going to grow some muscles, all of us. Because it's so big, we're almost going to need a crane to build it.
This week the team are grappling with a machine that built the tallest medieval tower in Europe, allowing human beings to climb higher than ever before, the Gothic Mega Crane. It's their first day in the workshop, and if the team are going to beat the ancestors, they have their work cut out.
Oh, it's a heavy one. Yeah.
They're starting with the giant 10-feet wide Treadwheel, an even bigger crane they'll need to fix it into.
Chris loves hammering, he's smashing everything up. Don't talk to a man when he's using a large hammer. It's not safe.
Some presents.
Lovely, great, thank you.
Jamie and Claire are making the wheel using 16 pieces of steel tubing. You may think of steel as a modern material, but in fact it was being used in Asia as early as 300 BC.
Cheers.
Just get the first one and then we're laughing.
The team are using rectangular steel tubes as their wheel needs to be strong, not perfectly round. It'll revolve on a spindle in the air. With only 3 days to build their crane, corners are being cut. But Jamie's not at all happy with the lack of precision.
2.5 inches out there, if you look at the centre, where it's gone, that one there, because it was only a rough guide to what it was going to look like.
Right. Owen, can you come over? We've got a problem.
What's the problem, Jamie?
Right, I don't understand why we're making something to a quick chalk sketch on the floor when we've just got a tool there. We can go, bosh, that's set at the right angle, that's bosh, tack, tack.
Because this works and you'll have a proper circle. If anything's out on that, it doesn't work. This will get done quickly. If you just get on with it, it will be done. That's the reality of it. We have 3 days to make something that would normally take 2 or 3 weeks.
You start making something something that's got to be done. And it gets like, no, don't do it like that. Throw it on the floor, it's got to be quick, bish, bash, bosh. So why not measure it and do it properly? It's just all quick, isn't it, all the time?
It's not very square.
I'm not fussed about it being square at all. What I want is I want it vertical.
We've got to run a fine line of making something that's going to stay together and do it quickly enough to make it in 3 days, which means that all your natural inclination to try and make something look perfect and be square and all that kind of stuff goes out the window. The only things that are important for this build really is that it is strong and that it does the job.
Keeping the team on track and helping me judge their build is engineering guru Leo Toccini, known as Todd.
Todd, looks very simple, but it's huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge, and they're going to run into difficulties there, because, I mean, this is tons and tons of wood and metal they've got to put together here. I mean, this thing is big. It's going to be, 4 metres up, something like that, maybe 5.
And if you look at the construction, it's so easy to understand.
Yeah, we've got the winding drum here, which is the axle of the wheel. The rope goes over the top, over a pulley, and you put your weight on here.
We're asking a lot more of them, because they have to be able to manoeuvre.
Yeah.
That brings a lot of problems in.
It brings a lot of problems, because as soon as you have any joints that move, which you have to manoeuvre, there you get weaknesses. Instantly you get weaknesses.
Back in the workshop, Matt, Chris and Owen have sawn, hammered and bracketed the first half of their 4-metre-high frame built to hold the humongous treadwheel.
Gently. Nice.
Wood was the main material used in crane building for over 3,000 years, from ancient times right up to the beginning of the 20th century. I'm curious to know how they're getting on with the all-important treadwheel.
Hiya, team. Come across, let's have a look at this. Should we get it upright? Should we have a look and see what you two look like in it?
2, 3, up.
Oh, now it looks big.
Is that the size you're expecting?
It's bigger than I thought it would be.
Bigger than it looks on the ground.
It's massive.
For sure.
I'm trying to picture you two in location. Do us a favour, can you make a shaft for us in the middle there, Chris? You two stand shoulder to shoulder for me, with this behind.
Is it right
in the middle?
It's about the middle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's plenty of clearance. I'm not worried about being behind me.
What if you fall backwards?
I'll bang my head.
Oh, okay.
Or I might try and do it all. And then I go, poof.
That's actually pretty good.
A build of this size comes with its own particular problems.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
It will get out of the door, won't it?
It's something the team are going to have to think about.
Yeah, can we lay it?
And you rotate to where you should be.
That's right there, yeah.
While the team crack on welding the wheel's 26 steel struts together, I'm heading off to see an incredible example of the crane's work. It built 80 cathedrals in France alone, including Chartres and Beauvais, but it's Salisbury Cathedral that stands out as the crane's ultimate achievement. Built with over 66,000 tons of stone and over 400 feet high, it's the tallest medieval spire in Europe.
I'm looking around here and just seeing how many blocks there are. What an amazing feat.
And we're only at the base of the tower. We've got to go up and up and up, and all these stones come up here bit by bit. This was something that had never been built at this height and this scale before.
It feels very high looking out the windows, and we're up above the cathedral itself, and it keeps going.
Yeah,
a real
still
vision.
A long way to go.
the spire, they still have the treadwheel that helped build Salisbury Cathedral nearly 700 years ago. It's incredible to think that this crane is responsible for this amazing spire.
This is very, very impressive.
Wonderful, isn't it?
It moves very, very freely. That's the first thing you notice.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing piece of machinery.
Yes.
No treadwheel, no tower.
No, the technology was not around to do anything other than by manpower, and this was the most efficient way of using manpower at that time to lift heavy loads.
When it comes to who would operate up here, was this classed as a punishment or was this classed as a prime job for skilled people?
I don't think it's for skilled people, because you can just imagine what it would be like, you know, like a giant hamster wheel. You're just going like this all day.
Building this tower and spire was breaking your ground, but it was terrifying work. I'm trying to think about how dangerous this was.
Yes, I think you had dangers on two sides. One was the actual danger from working the treadwheel itself, and maybe people working above you. You know, things would fall on you. And
no hard hats?
No hard hats. And we know there must have been an awful lot of casualties. Masons were very brave people. There's a phrase that Masons don't die in their sleep.
Now we're enclosed. A treadwheel crane like this, with nothing around us, you must have felt very exposed.
Yes, you can imagine what it would be like way up here, howling winds, rain, all weathers. They would carry on working, total exposure to the elements.
All uncharted territory, nobody had been that high.
Nobody had ever done a stone spire of this height before.
It's the start of day 2, and Claire is putting the final touches to the giant wheel. When finished, it'll be suspended in Chris's massive frame and rotate on a 9-foot metal spindle.
I've got this in here at the moment because it's just so I can find the centre of the circle.
Yeah.
Once I've welded the real 9-foot spindle in, this whole thing is going to be huge.
And then you and Jamie, not you and Jamie, you.
I'm not going in it.
Matt and Jamie are inside
I'll build
here.
it, but I'm not going to drive it.
I've just overheard, may I say, that you said, I'm going to build it, but I'm not going to get inside it. That gives me no confidence, Claire, the fact that you won't get inside your own bit of kit.
No, I want to have a go on it, but not when the actual test, because I don't think I'm strong enough.
Claire's almost finished welding the wheel together, making it as strong as possible.
Tip, 2, 3 up.
The frame is still hot from the welding, but the team can't wait to lift it up and see it in all its glory.
That's hot.
Oh, that's heavy. Careful, there might be areas that might be warm.
Ah, yeah, you're right.
So drop it down.
Yeah, go on in, it's hot. And...
Good.
Hey!
Look at that. That looks good.
It's time to add the metal spindle.
Lovely, lovely.
The team's first major improvement of the Ancestors crane is to add a gearing system through different sized spindles. The power and speed of the crane depend on the size of the spindle. A bigger spindle lifts a weight more quickly with each rotation of the treadwheel. But this comes at a cost, as the bigger the spindle is, the more effort the team will have to put into lifting the weight. The gearing system gives them the options to vary the power and speed of the crane. It should give them a huge advantage over the Ancestors. While Claire makes the bigger spindle, Jamie's mind is on the dangers involved in operating the crane.
Hey, what are you cutting?
Slats to go across our hamster wheel.
Oh, our walkboards.
Our walkboards, yes, mate.
Isn't that too thick?
Do you want to go too thick or too thin? You know.
Yeah, I suppose so. We don't want to put our foot through it and then it gets sheared off by the rest of the frame, do we?
While the crane would have been made in the Middle Ages with wooden pegs, I've allowed the team to use screws for safety and speed. Because of the sheer scale of the team's 3-metre-high treadwheel, 82 planks are needed to cover it, and it's proving back-breaking work.
You're punching these screws in through wood, metal, and then you've got to tighten them down all the time trying to keep your balance.
Oh, we need to lift it.
No, push.
We're trying to lift it and shimmy it that way.
It's just massive. There's nothing about this lift you can lift yourself. As a person, you can't do it.
1, 2, 3.
The wheel's dwarfed by the crane's 4-metre-high solid oak frame. It weighs just under a ton.
2, 3.
Now the frame's complete, the next problem for the team is getting it out of the workshop.
What do you want to do?
Well, they tip it and drag it outside.
And Matt's come up with an ingenious, ancient method.
Because it's so heavy, we're just using small pieces of metal rod to pull it on like little rollers. The Egyptians did it, and I'm sure the Romans did it, so that's how we're doing it. A smidge more on it.
However, it appears there's been a slight miscalculation with their measurements.
Doesn't fit.
The frame is trapped in the workshop. The team need to come up with a plan, and fast.
This week the team are up against it as they attempt to create a Gothic Mega Crane from scratch, a machine responsible for building some of the tallest buildings in Europe, and also for causing some of the grisliest deaths, as people working on them often fell from great heights.
The team have discovered that the crane is not only too tall, but also too wide to get out of the workshop. Didn't we talk about this?
As it stands right now, this thing won't get out the door in either dimension.
Okay.
We cut 10 centimetres off the end, it'll be fine.
We'll have to do that then. Unless you can lose 10
That's the
centimetres out of
simplest
his
thing,
door. It appears that someone's measured the door and it's too small. Either we get a better door, or we're going to have to take a little bit off our thing.
With the clock ticking, Matt saws 10 centimetres off the frame's width. A small shave won't affect the crane, but it'll hurt the team's pride.
As long as this frame is less than 1 ton, we can get it on this hoist.
Yeah.
The solution to get the top through is to just tilt it. But that's not so easy when it weighs nearly a ton.
Keep going. We're slightly touching his barn door. Okay, beautiful.
That's it.
Keep going. You can probably walk that out now.
We've got clearance that side, Chris.
With the frame finally outside, they need to haul it clear of the workshop so it can be fitted with their treadwheel.
Okay.
Okay.
But dragging this vast structure is putting huge pressure on Owen's steel bracing. The move reveals a crucial weakness.
You see it racking as it moves.
Yeah, oh God, the whole thing needs
It
far
looks
more.
like it's made of big wood, but really it's
It needs more 45.
yeah. Was it a little bit floppy, which is an odd thing to say about a 6-inch oak.
That's about the C&G.
That's it.
Whoa.
That's good. That's good. Brilliant.
The team get to work reinforcing the frame.
This is one of those builds where we need to have things on there, and they're not on there right now. Every little bit we put on this is going to take a long time. It's not a build where it's going to go jig together. It's going to go massive lift, put it up, secure it, fix it. So right now, this is, we need to be getting a massive wriggle on.
Inside the workshop, Claire's putting the final touches to the big spindle, which should increase the speed the crane can lift at.
What I've got to do now is make sure there's absolutely no sharp edges whatsoever, otherwise it could cut our rope.
The team now focus on the next big improvement, a massive 6-metre crane arm. The ancestors' crane had a fixed position and could only be used to lift things from directly below. The team's arm can move from side to side.
This is our crane arm. It's a 6-metre long piece of oak, and this is the actual bit that does the lifting. This is the bit that sticks out over the dangerous precipice, over the cliff. And this is the bit you see hanging off the top of buildings. It swings around, it's the boom, the business end.
Actually, it's not too bad.
That's helping.
Is it helping?
Yeah, completely.
As Owen welds right into the crane arm, Jane is making a movable trolley to run along it.
We've got our crane. We've got our crane runner, you know. So if we want to pick something up down there, that shoots off down there. You can bring your hook down, pick up whatever weight it is or you got to move. Back to the new place you got to drop. You know, really, really good bit of kit. I'm well happy with it.
Now Owen and Claire need to come up with a system to control the movement of both the arm and the trolley.
It's a winch, and this is going to pull our trolley backwards and forwards on our crane arm.
The rope will be attached to the trolley and wound around the spindle, so that when the winch is turned, it pulls the trolley in and out. To move the whole crane arm, the team will need to turn a different winch positioned on the other side, which will pull the arm left and right. Using the two winches simultaneously will give the team's crane maneuverability the ancestors could only dream of.
We've got in, out, up, down, left and right, and then we've got the time element of being able to change how quickly we do it.
Oh, that's so not cool.
Everything now needs to be pulled together. Owen's cracking the whip to make sure it's done in time. And correctly.
What are you doing to this?
Right, screwing it on to get me centre line, just so we know where it is. Drilling it, bolting it, done.
Okay, cool.
As the build progresses, Owen is taking more and more control, and I'm wondering how his teammates are taking it.
The team all subscribe to the fact that they have to just get on with it?
To an extent, there isn't that much of a choice with something this big, because someone's going to have to roll it, or it just won't happen.
Jamie? Yes, muscle, please. Just push the whole thing that way. The bottom of it is very hot. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
Democracy isn't prevailing when you're around, mate.
In this situation right now, with that much work to get done, democracy cannot prevail. That's the reality of it.
That item we can't lift, that item we can't lift, that item we can't lift. We can lift that.
Can we lift that bit?
Yeah.
All right.
Day 3 is not going to be anything other than absolute hell.
It's work, 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 work.
It's the last day of the build. And with the giant treadwheel complete, it's time to get it outside. And Jamie's come up with a bright idea. Treadwheels were being used as far back as 230 BC. And until the birth of the steam engine 2,000 years later, it was one of the only ways to power machines.
More? You tell me when, Chris?
Yeah, more. That'll do. You're down.
Lovely.
With the wheel finally in place, it's time for our two intrepid engineering hamsters to put it to the test.
Doesn't seem like it's going anywhere to me.
But while the wheel is running smoothly, the same can't be said for the operators.
Yeah, slow down, slow down. I'm sorry. Keep still. You're doing it, I'm not going anywhere. Keep still.
What about if you crawled?
You're joking, no. No, yeah, see, the trouble is there is, if you slip up, you're like...
It's like watching two blokes try and learn to walk.
If the team fail to master control of their massive wheel, they'll be in serious danger come test day.
This cucumber represents my hand when we're walking in the wheel. If I put this in there, like so, that's my hand left. You know, it's going to work. It isn't good. You know, it's a guillotine.
Matt shares Jamie's safety concerns, but he's got a plan of action.
Yeah, I feel quite exposed. So, yeah, some kind of mesh or tightly, tight sort of netting on there, something to just keep us in.
Despite being all too aware of the dangers of operating the treadwheel, Jamie has reservations about being trapped inside a wheel high above the ground.
I don't like being enclosed in somewhere where I haven't got, a surefire quick exit next to me.
Yeah.
That's just me. I don't do heights, and I don't do type places.
I know that.
But then again, in the interest of history, we have to do these things.
In the interest of safety. It's just safety.
But if they don't finish building the crane, operating it won't really be an issue. Day 3, and there's masses still to do.
There is. I mean, they've got huge elements there. The wheel, the framework, the arm, it's all there. But putting it together, because they're so big, it takes everybody to put everything together.
One thing that gives me a little bit of concern is the sheer size of their arm that they're putting out in front, because the weight of that is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, that's 200 kilos. Heavy. Jib arm has got to go on. That is going to be all of them for 2 hours. You know, it's going to be a massive job getting that in.
Do you want to go back over and under so we're doing it in both directions?
Obviously, aligning and getting everything in the right place is pretty important.
Yeah.
But control as a team.
Rarely has there been a worse conceived machine for control, I think. They're trying to bring the weight in and lower it and move the arm at the same time. That's coordinating 4 people's actions that can't see each other very clearly in a noisy, big, scary bit of machinery.
This is like rubbing your tummy, patting your head and hopping at the same time.
Yeah.
With the team up against it, it's time to find out how they're coping.
That's looking pretty good.
How are we doing, team?
That's not bad.
All right.
Happy with the meshing? As an idea? Jamie, you like the idea of being in a hamster cage?
No, I don't. I've said all along, I don't want to be caged in there, but safety comes first at the end of the day.
So, at a height in a cage?
At a height in a cage. I was game for it to start with, to give Owen a good laugh, really, but now I'm looking at it.
Oh, it's not volunteer to go in your place. You haven't got any safety mesh up, I told you, have you?
Not yet.
Not yet, no.
You haven't got any rope on it yet, have you?
Got the details.
And nobody's actually used it yet, have they?
It's cosmetic.
So nobody's worried except for me?
Yeah.
Good luck, keep smiling. I'm more impressed with their confidence than with their machine. There's still so much to do, like attaching the massive 6-meter crane arm.
Whoa! Okay, top's off.
No, it's off now.
Can you drop your end now, fellas? Because you'll drop the bottom in. Whoa, down. Everybody down and we're lined up. Go on, keep going. We're on. Okay. She's on.
It's a phenomenal amount of wood. It's a massive amount of metal. You know, we're counting this thing in tons.
Cheers. Yes.
Exactly.
Like being in prison.
With time running out, the team still need to add their winches and rope their crane.
Right, this is what you call backstreet engineering. You get hold of it and you bend the dugger.
Yeah, not too much, eh?
Like that. Give that a try.
Put that over there. Okay. That's nice.
Turning.
Hold on, mate.
Captain. It's like a ship. It's like we've made a ship.
It's very much like that, isn't it, with the rigging in there?
With a mast and ropes and a big wheel.
Well, we've got some daylight hours left, so I think we should make the most of them and get on with it, really.
Okay.
A few hours from now, the crane will be lifted high above the ground, where it will be tested for the very first time. Will it be ready to take on the ancestors? It's test day. While the team have been busy building their crane, I've had another team of builders rigging up a massive scaffold to test it from. And after 3 days of relentless building, the team's version of the Gothic Mega Crane is ready for action.
I think our crane looks like a kind of cyberpunk, kind of old-time, torturous machine. To me, it looks like, actually on the ledge, looks like it's a public hanging device, in fact.
Now I've seen our, the finished crane up on this scaffolding, I'm terrified of it.
That is a very big beast, Todd, isn't it? Look at it. Just before getting started, Matt and Jamie are putting harnesses on to make operating the crane safer.
Whoa!
How's that?
And the team have also built a brake behind the wheel.
The good thing about this challenge has been that actually the modernisations we've done are pretty standard to us now. So in every way, this is a modern crane built around the heart of an ancient one.
It's certainly bigger than the Ancestors' original, but will it prove to be better? With the machine yet to see action, they're about to find out. I've set them 3 tests. Test 1, manoeuvrability. The Gothic Mega Crane built Salisbury Cathedral, the biggest medieval spire in Europe, using a crane that could only lift vertically. To prove that the team's crane can outmaneuver the Ancestors, they have to navigate a gargoyle through a medieval obstacle course. They must wind their way through 3 stone monsters, each rigged to set off an explosion at the slightest touch, before lowering it onto a plinth. If the team make contact with 2 out of 3 gargoyles, they fail the test.
Team, time to test your creation. Good luck.
Break off. Break off, Owen. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Catch
Hello, guys.
Here we go. What do we reckon? It's all about control now, isn't it?
It is. I mean, we're going to very quickly see if they got a grip on this or not.
Okay, we're approaching the obstacle now.
Chris is controlling the movement of the crane arm with his winch. He's also coordinating the team.
I'm going to bring it up about 3 feet. Come on,
that's nice.
hamsters, work.
Claire's in charge of moving the gargoyle in and out, but not having had a chance to test her winch, she's having problems.
That is not a nice noise.
There is something not as it should be here, I think, Dick.
It's the first real weight they've seen on it, isn't it?
You're clear. You're clear.
Here we go.
Look at that, missed it by miles. 11 minutes, team, 11 minutes.
That's one out of the way. But with the weather changing, their gargoyle is really beginning to sway.
Okay, slow down. Brake on, Owen. Go on, in you come.
High up on
In you come, in you come. Hit that, then.
I think they hit that one, Dick.
If they hit the final gargoyle, they failed this test.
Oh, they're cutting that tight. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, just.
That was close.
With the gargoyles cleared, they just need to lower it safely onto the
Okay, we're
plane.
going to land this sucker. Keep going down.
Land it.
Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, it's so close. It's not in the middle.
No, and
Hopefully.
Stop.
Hey! Well done, Claire.
well done.
Congratulations.
Hey. But they've demonstrated manoeuvrability. It doesn't matter how we look at it.
I mean, it is manoeuvrable with difficulty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of caught the short straw there. That was really hard work. It was so heavy to pull that out, that track. And so as I was pulling it down, my arms just went and it was just really difficult to pull it. But I'm glad I kept going with it, got there in the end.
Time for the next test. Speed.
Our crane has taken the basic lifting system that the Ancestors has and it's changed it for the better. So we have multiple gears on it, so we can go very fast.
The Ancestors' crane could lift 250 kilograms 6 feet in 1 minute. But can the team lift further in the same time?
The minute has started. All right, let's go.
Nice and slow.
Right, we're away. Keep going, keep going.
While the Ancestors work at a slow and consistent pace, the team are really accelerating as the big gear quickly wraps up rope and increases lift speed. But going so fast makes it harder and harder to keep their footing.
Stop, brake. Come on, keep it going.
You're a third of the way, lads.
The Ancestors took a minute to lift 250 kilograms 6 feet in the air. They've done it in 17 seconds. But the team are determined to get to the top within the minute.
Brake. Ready, and go. Go. 4, 3. Come on, fellas. 2. Run like you mean it. And stop. Right.
Team, a phenomenal effort! 17 feet in 36 seconds!
Yes!
Incredible! The team haven't just beaten the ancestors' record, they've smashed it!
Have some of that.
That's quite funny when you're hanging there.
Now it's time for the final test, strength.
Ken, fill up the skip.
The maximum weight the ancestors' crane could lift was 700 kilograms. To prove their machine is stronger, the team will first have to match and then exceed this colossal weight. A skip is being filled with water until it reaches the ancestors' 700 kilogram weight limit.
Away you go, Chris.
You ready? Slow away. You've got the brake, Owen. We're going up nice and slowly. She's bouncing a bit. Getting a bit of bounce. How's that feeling?
Right.
Is it harder?
No, I'm just scared.
That's 700 kilos in the air!
Hey! Yes.
The team have done it! They've matched the ancestors! Now I want to see how much more weight their machine can take. But before I pump any more water into the skip, I'm going to get the team off the crane.
Let's fill it up.
As we push the crane to its limit, there's a real possibility that the strain of lifting a massive weight will tear the crane apart.
Here we go, approaching 1. Looks like being in a submarine.
That's a ton. That's 1 ton.
The crane has taken over a ton, obliterating the ancestors' record, and it's still standing firm. Twice the ancestors, 1,400 kilos!
Oh, it's going.
Oh, you can see the rope properly stretching. Oh,
it's going.
It's
1,600 kilos!
Well, that's going to make a good kick.
Oh, something's stretching!
At 1.9 tons, the team have lifted nearly 3 times as much as the ancestors.
Team! You managed to hit one of the gargoyles, but maneuverability was amazing, wasn't it, yeah? The racing uplift, never mind 6 feet a minute, you were phenomenal. 700 kilos, pa. The thing survived to nearly 2 tons.
Right win.
Just under 2 tons.
That is something.
Team, you've beaten the ancestors!
Having just beaten the ancestors, it does give you an immense amount of respect for what they did on a day-to-day basis.
Everything's been fantastic. The team's really come together and just so wonderful to be part of it. I've loved it.
The build was good and our test was excellent, so I'm over the moon. That's exactly what engineering is all about. It's making something that is big and works and is safe and doesn't break.
It's been absolutely brilliant. I've loved it, every minute of it. You know, and testing it has been really, really good fun.
Next week, the team face the most explosive and experimental challenge yet. As they attempt to build one of World War II's most spectacular failures, the rocket parachute.
The moment this weight hits the ground, bang, we have, fireworks.
But will the team survive the most dangerous build of the series?
I think we might be beating the ancestors if this goes well.
Yeah, let's just not meet them.